This is Algebra 2 academic lecture on the Chapter 2, Section 4 notes.
Hi. Hi.
All right. So does anyone not have a notes? Does anyone not have a notes?
Wait, where do you put these videos?
YouTube, my YouTube channel.
Subscribe. Like, subscribe.
All right, so part A. Yeah, subscribe. So graph the solution of the inequality with the set of all x such that x is greater than 3. Set of all x such that x is greater than 3. This is the, which one? This one or that one? Don't worry about the line. Don't worry too much about the line. What this is saying is like we want all the x such that, so like all the x such that x is greater than 3. Don't worry too much about this notation. So we want x greater than 3. How would I plot that on a number line?
Just put 3, 1, 2, 3.
There we go. Got 3.
Yeah, 3, and then just put x. No. Put the circle.
Yeah, there we go.
But don't close it in because it's not equal to.
There we go. Okay, so Riri's got this down.
And then go to the right.
Yeah, go to the right. All right, so here's what I did, guys. So I have 3 on my number line. This is my number line of all real numbers. Okay, I put 3 on it, and I put a hollow circle. Why did I put a hollow circle, Riri?
Because it's only greater than. It's not.
Yeah, so there's no, this is not an or equal to, it's only greater than. So when I put a hollow circle here to like tell the people looking at my paper, like, hey, 3 is not included in this interval. I'm not trying to shade in 3. I'm not shading the number. Yeah, you shade it in if it has the sign has the underline, but this one doesn't. So I put a hollow circle to tell my reader, like, 3 is not included in the part that I'm shading. Okay, and then I shaded all the numbers to the right of 3, because all the numbers that are to the right of 3 on a number line are greater than 3, and that's what the problem's asking me to write. Then you do what it says to write it in interval notation. Anyone heard of interval notation before? No? This is new, okay. So here's how I write this. I want all the numbers that are greater than 3. And I'm going to write two numbers in an interval. What do you think? I'm going to, I can't think of the best way to say this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 3, right? All the numbers that go from 3 to what? Infinity, yeah. Positive infinity. So 3, positive infinity. And then, so I'm going to put parentheses around both of these numbers, right?
How do you do that with one bracket?
The bracket is if the number's a solid dot, if it's shaded. No, so I always put, so 2 things I want to note. On infinity and negative infinity, when I'm writing these interval notations, I always put parentheses around infinity. Always put parentheses where infinity is, yes.
I thought the 3 wasn't shaded in though. So what if it is shaded in, is it still like the same thing?
So it's just we're shaded in. So if I had x is greater than or equal to 3,
Yeah.
I'd put a solid dot, and then my interval would be 3 with a square bracket to infinity with parentheses. So here my 3 gets a hollow circle because it's just a greater than, so I put a parenthesis there. Bracket, so the bracket means that 3 is included in my interval. So this is all the numbers from 3 to infinity, and 3 is included.
So specifically describing what the dot is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, because if I told you like Eva, write down all the numbers from 5 to 10, you'd be like, should I write down 5? Should I write down 10? You know. So that explains like, okay, is
Yes, it is.
3 included or not? Okay, are we okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, B. Part B, we want all the x such that x is less than -2. Okay, so how would I do this on a number line? Anyone volunteer? Yes, Mallory.
So you put wait, I actually haven't done it. Oh wait, it's on the
So don't worry about putting like all the numbers. Just put the one number that's right here. Just put the one number.
The one, you put them facing different directions because there's going to be two different lines.
So there's I only need to worry about one number line. So I put -2.
But they're two originally two lines on, right?
No, I'm only going to shade to 1/2. To 1. I want all the numbers that are less than -2, so I'm just going to shade 1/2 of this number.
Oh, so you don't want us to draw another arrow, just shade the side of the line.
Just shade, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you do an open circle and shade to the left?
Yeah, so I'm going to do an open circle where -2 is, and I'm going to shade to the left, right? I want all the x's that are less than -2. Right?
No, don't you just make them infinity?
Yeah, so you need to make sure when we're doing our interval notation that we put the numbers in the right order. So negative infinity is less than -2. So we're do negative infinity to -2. And they both get parentheses. Why does my -2 get a parenthesis? Open circle, right?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
But since it's not included, like the -2, wouldn't we not? Since it can't be -2?
We want to put it in the intervals?
Yeah, the parentheses.
Yeah, so we put it in there, and then me writing a parenthesis right there is my way of like telling people like -2 is not included. That's why the symbol matters. Yeah,
Okay.
that's why the symbol matters.
So like all the quiz types, you're missing the 2-point questions, you have the underline.
Yeah, so I gave this quiz on this to my pre-cal quiz, and like some of them like put them in the wrong order, or they put either a bracket where there should have been a parenthesis, or vice versa. So just watch out for that.
Wait, what type of order does it have to go?
Least to greatest. Least to greatest. So
Oh,
go from negative infinity all the way over here to -2. Are we okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, -4.2 greater than or equal to x. Okay, guys, anyone have any ideas for this one? So we're going to do, -4.2 with a closed circle. Okay, good. Right, why do I get a closed circle? The or equal to symbol sign, right? Who thinks I should shade to the right? Who thinks I should shade to the left? Who doesn't know?
Wait, you shade that way, because the arrow's pointing that way.
Yeah, so here's what I've been telling students. People who get confused about this. A lot of people see, oh look, there's a greater than or equal to symbol, so I should shade to the right. Right? They're only looking at the inequality symbol. What people are missing is that they're not looking at what's on either side of the inequality symbol. What's different about this one from those other two? X is on the right instead, right? So here's what I recommend for you guys. Here's what I recommend. This is what I like to do. I like to rewrite this so that X is on the left. So how would I rewrite it so X is on the left? X is less than or equal to -4.2. So I just take the whole thing and I just flip it around. So X is less than or equal to -4.2, right? Now where do I shade? For D, for which one? C, there's X on both sides. Oh, this is just a fancy way of writing. We're saying we want all the X such that this. So we shade to the left, okay? Shade to the left. Alright, we okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Part D, we want all the X.
Wait, you didn't do the bracket.
Oh my goodness, you're right. You're so right. Alright, so how would I do this?
The bracket.
Alright, yeah, Eva.
Negative infinity, -4.2 with a bracket.
Which one gets a bracket?
On 4.2.
And which one gets a parenthesis?
The negative.
Negative infinity. Thank you, sorry about that. I don't know. Just make sure you guys check in with me in the end zone, okay? The end zone that's farthest from the tennis court. Alright,
Wait, is it in this class?
all the X such all the X such that negative is less than X, which is less than or equal to 0. Alright, on a number line.
Wait.
Wait, do we have to make two lines?
No, wait,
You put -3 on one spot and 0 on another spot on the line, and then you shade in between.
All right, guys. Let's listen to Annie. So we got -3, and we're gonna put 0 on the same number line. Hollow circles or solid dots or a little mix of the two. What am I gonna do? What does -3 get?
a dot.
Hollow circle. So there's the one, -3 is less than x. There's not an underline, there's not an or equal to line. So I'm gonna do hollow circle. 0, right, there is, so what's you're gonna get?
Shaded.
Full shaded dot, yeah. And where am I gonna shade on my number line?
In between the two.
In between, right? Wait, what they said?
Yeah, they said it's gonna
It's your red line under.
You want us to stop it?
No, it's such a pain in the butt, so. And I have tons. Let's just. No, I didn't. I need to make sure I remember a pen. Doesn't have a pen.
Yeah.
Alright, guys, head out. I'll lock the door. Go to the left.
Now it's in the hallway. I have lip gloss. Come on, Jen. You're gonna die. You would have died by now.
good. Yeah, it went well. It went very smoothly.
See, you weren't
It
scared.
was actually my second fire drill. I had one in Mrs. Green's class last year while I was subbing for her. And I closed the room to the kilns, like how you're supposed to like close all the doors, and then like we got back and like the kiln room was locked, and I was like, those are really hot kilns. Maybe we should not have those doors locked. So I had to like hit them up and be like, someone's please come unlock the doors.
Oh,
So I did.
That was a bucket.
Whose pen is this? Blue pen? Alright, thank you. I appreciate that. No, it's still 40, right? Alright, take
Really good
a few
video.
more minutes.
It wasn't that bad. They like bored us.
Oh, it was great. Very well. Thank you guys. Hey, thank you for your cooperation. Seriously, that was great. Some money.
We went to the wrong side of the football field.
That's okay.
I think
Alright, Danielle, leave the phone, please. Okay, so let's recap. Part D, the problem was we want to write all the x such that x is greater than -3 but less than or equal to 0. We drew a number line, and we plotted -3 and 0 on it. It's in the right order.
we're like basically split the equation in half. So like x
Just posing.
actually never. Can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, and then -3 gets a hollow circle since it doesn't have an underline. And then the other one does get a solid dot. It gets a solid dot since there's an or equal to underline.
When you do 3, when you like write it out, do you like split it in like different brackets because the different dots?
Yeah, so that's a good question. We'll get to that in a second. So where do I shade? In between, right? Because I want all the x's that are greater than -3, that's all these to the right of -3. I want all the x's that are to the left of 0, and then where they overlap. And then for my interval notation, you asked a good question. So for this one, what I would need one. I only need one interval because so I write -3 to 0. Right, -3 gets what?
Open.
Parenthesis, yeah. 0 gets what?
Square.
Square bracket, yep. I only need to write one because the two, there's just like one interval. on my number line. Any confusion on that one? So I'm gonna erase here. Okay, parts number 2, part A, we'll start this. Part A, solve. Graph the solution set and write it in interval notation. Okay, so this is x plus 2 is less than or equal to 6. Right, so just like solving an equation, you can put your phone away, please. Just like solving an equation, we want to get x by itself. Yeah. Yeah, so here it's so Mallory's is pointing out. So when we solve inequalities, it's almost the exact same as solving equations for x. What's the one difference? So we flip the sign if and only if we multiply or divide by a negative number at some point. We'll see examples of this. So for this one, all I gotta do is subtract 2 from both sides, and I get x by itself. So 6 minus 2 is 4, so I have x is less than or equal to 4. And then we're going to graph it and write the interval notation. So I have 4 right here, solid dot or hollow circle? And then shade left or right? Left, okay. All the x's are less than or equal to 4. Okay. What's my interval? Danny, do you know?
Square, 4, comma, infinity, parentheses.
Alright, so we just need to flip this around. Just gotta flip right, so you gotta have, so it goes to negative infinity.
Oh.
So we're gonna have a negative infinity here, so we just gotta flip it around, so we write
Negative infinity,
Yeah. So
4.
we're gonna do negative infinity to
Square.
4, yeah. This gets a square bracket, this gets a parenthesis, okay? Just make sure we put them in the right order.
Do we have to circle that?
Yeah, I would.
What were you?
By B,
So 6.
10x is less than 9x plus 3. What do you guys want me to do? How should I start?
Subtract x.
How should I start?
You can subtract
Can you add like terms?
Yeah, we'll subtract 9x. Subtract 9x. So I have x is less than 3. Alright, so I'm going to write my number line. Okay, I'm going to draw a 3 on it. Open circle. And I shade to the left. So that goes parenthesis negative infinity to 3. Does 3 get a parenthesis or a square bracket? And then negative infinity and positive infinity always get parentheses. They always get parentheses, right? Are there any questions on that one?